Good morning, everyone. Oh, don't want to fall over. So, over here at the Malone Road Conservation Area, I come here a lot. If you follow me on Instagram, I posted some photos of various cars I've owned here. It's a really nice spot. There's almost never anybody here, and there's all kinds of trails off. I actually live, this is near the top of a hill behind my house. Actually, it's a mountain, but to me it's a hill, and I live at the foot of this mountain. But anyway, beautiful spot to come to. When I got here, the birds are really active, and I thought, well, that's going to be great. You'll hear that in the video. Of course, I start recording, and, no, they stopped. Yeah, they stopped. Anyway, I'm also still using my cell phone as my video camera only now, and I'm still getting used to where to look, so forgive me if I keep kind of looking over that way. I'm not trying to be rude. And for those of you not familiar with my channel, please give me a thumbs up and hit that subscribe button. If you're only interested in looking at the car and hearing about the new Subaru Crosstrek Sport for 2021, I will have a timestamp in the box below the comment section telling you like where to fast forward to if you don't want to hear about the car accident. If I can figure it out, I will put pictures throughout this video of the car accident because my car was totaled pretty badly. I was fine though, luckily. A Friday morning. It's been now, what, a month? About a month? The 9th. I believe the 9th. Anyway, I drop my kids off at school every day, pick them up. When I drop them off, because of COVID, so the school in the town I live in, the back of the school, which actually long ago used to be the original entrance to the old elementary school, is now the back door, and they call that the walker's entrance or exit. The children that aren't taking the buses, which are around the front of the school, the new front of the school, they go in and out of that door for people that either they're walking or people like myself who pick up and drop off their children or child. Because of COVID, I used to park in the municipal parking lot where the library is, the police station, or over at the post office, and I'd walk my boys. I really enjoy doing that because you talk with other parents. Your kids got some playtime before and after, but because of COVID, it's not like that anymore. You have to pull up along Main Street, along the curb, and the teachers come out, and they open up the doors, and your kids hop out and run into the school, and then same thing when pickup. There are two officers there all the time. Actually, chief and I want to say lieutenant. I could be wrong, but they're there. One is kind of helping kids getting out of the car and so on, and the other one is in the road, because what they do is you're on Main Street, and this car's going north and south. I'm facing south when you're dropping off and picking up facing south. The officer will go out and stop traffic coming from the north, heading south. So the cars, after your kids get out, can pull out into the road and then go. Literally 70 feet. About 70 feet from where you pull off the curb, there's an intersection there. This is Route 68. And it's at the four-way intersection of Brigham would be on my left if I'm going south on 68, and Elm Street is on my right. There's a blinking light there. At all times, the light is blinking, even during it's a school zone with the blinking light will be going off because of school zone. It's always going off. You have to be careful going to the intersection. Cars going on north and south have the right of way. For instance, I had the right of way in this instant. Cars coming from the left and the right have to stop before they pull out and go left or right. My kids get out of the car. The officers in the road stopping cars. Now, cars coming from south to north, they can keep going. They don't have to stop. And it's starting to rain. Anyway, they stop cars going from the north to the south, and then they motion you, and you pull out, and then you go about your way. A lot of times when they stop and they tell you to go, cars will drive. I don't know why they do this, because that intersection is crazy as it is in the morning, but cars will, and I keep looking this, I'm sorry. Cars will drive down the breakdown lane or the bike lane. and then go straight left. And I don't know why they do that. I really don't. So what I do is, all the time, I take a hard left, I get out into the road, and then I'm going. Now, I'm on the road. I'm not like entering the intersection from the breakdown lane, and cars do it all the time. Now, there are accidents there several times a year. It's not a bad intersection, if you ask me, but cars do. There are accidents there a couple times a year. And it's really cold out today, if I didn't say that already. So I pull out. I'm doing between 12 to 15 miles an hour, right in there. Remember, it's a 20-mile-an-hour school zone. There are already 2 police behind me, like literally 6 car lengths behind me. I'm not speeding, which people thought I was. I look, when you're entering that intersection, and you probably have done this, when you got to look, like, you just don't look left and then that's it, right? You look, you do that like a dozen times, right? I'm exaggerating, of course. I saw her stopped at the stop sign. I saw cars stopped here. Cars are going, so I go. I look several times. As I go, she pulls out. Her front, she had a Ford Edge, black Ford Edge SUV. Her front corner, where the headlight is and the directional, hit my tire, my front driver's tire, right? So I pull out, she comes out, we hit. Now she pushes me this way. She goes off that way down the road and stops. When she hit me, it flashed. It was an instant, like I saw her and it was done. She's hitting my front quarter. I saw the curb, and it's a brand new intersection road. The curb is like really big. I saw, and I already knew this damage. I saw the curb, and I thought, well, I'll hit the curb and I'll stop there. Now remember, she's kind of like pushing me along before she turned off, right? And I didn't stop at said curb. And then there's a brick wall about 4 feet tall, 3 feet tall, with a set of stairs, and there's a house right on that corner. It's actually a lawyer's office of all places. It was a home, a very old home. Now it's turned into a lawyer's office. I go up the curb, and then I saw the wall, and I thought, I'm sorry, I keep looking down the road. There's a car parked at the end of the road. I don't know if they're coming down or not. So I saw the stairs, the wall, and I thought, well, I'm going to hit that, and I'll stop. I didn't stop. I went up, but because there's a little bit of a hill, we're on a little bit of a hill, because it starts to go down as soon as you go through that intersection. So my right side went up, and it's a hill. My car flipped over. Now, when that went up, I thought, this is it. Like, I'm going to stop here. And then it went up onto the side, and this is all like really slow. And I thought, oh, okay, now I'm going to stop. And at this point, the side airbag, the curtains, boom, went off. And I was wondering if they're going to go off. Like, it's really weird. Like, all this, I was thinking all of this while it's happening. Like, I'm sorry, I go off a lot on other things, but I try to set the stage or give you an idea. But I used to work for a car dealership, and we used to have to, there was a while there, I don't know if you still can, but a lot of the elderly didn't want the airbag in their Cadillacs. And we would take it off, because you could have it taken out legally. But you couldn't send it back to the factory, like, because it's an explosive in there. So we used to go out in the what do you call it? The driveway, the dealership parking lot out back. We used to put the little airbag device inside of a tire, hook jumper cables up to it, and hit that. And the loudest bang I've ever heard. And the thing would go 100 feet in the air. It was like huge. Yeah, well, everybody, it's really neat. And I used to think, like, imagine that going off in your freaking face. Like, holy crap. That's going to hurt. Like, that's going to hurt. Wow, that is delicious on a cold, cold morning. So, when I went up, at that moment, I kind of thought, are the side curtains going to go off? Like, why did they go off? I'm not kidding. I was thinking this. And all of a sudden, as soon as I go up, boom, all the curtains went off. But it wasn't loud. It was actually very quiet, very soft. It's like they unrolled. I mean, it was, and I remember leaning against it, because I thought for a second I'm going to stay like that, like a millisecond. And all of a sudden the car just went all the way completely over. and I'm hanging upside down in my car, and I hear, now, all right, so what happened, I'm upside down, I'm like, all right, my glasses were still on, thankfully, and I'm thinking, like, I hear, whang, like something racing, you know, and I realized that's my engine. So I you have muscle memory. I reached down to shut it off because it's a push button, start and stop. And I can't, and I'm like, I'm upside down. So I'm like, okay, I grabbed the steering wheel and I just slid my hands down. And I'm like, boop, I hit the button, the car shut off. Now it's nice and quiet. By now, people are coming over. The cops are on their way. They're behind me. They're like running over to the scene. So I'm kind of hoping we'll see a deer or a bear walk through. That would be really nice, wouldn't it? They are here a lot. So I'm upside down. I shut it off. My glasses are still on, thankfully. And I just opened a brand new Monster drink. Like, seriously. And it spilled. And it's all over. And I thought for a second, did I just piss myself? Like, there's no way I pissed myself. It wasn't. It was the Monster drink. So, but it's funny because I was talking to someone. They're like, "Oh, they must have been so frightened." Like, I was never afraid. I've been in one other pretty bad accident before. I was going fast and I slid on black ice in a Volkswagen Jetta, spun around my ass and hit a tree. I mean, the tree went all the way into the back seat. At no time did I wasn't afraid. I didn't think, "Oh my God, this is it," or, "Oh, I'm going to get hurt." I never thought I'd be hurt. Nothing. Anyway, so I'm upside down. Now, I had hurt my ribs falling literally a week before and have been dealing all week with really like bruised ribs, pretty bad ribs, or whatever. They were hurting, hanging upside down in my seatbelt, which, by the way, did a fantastic job. So I'm hanging upside down. My ribs are killing me. I can't breathe. And I knew it was because of that. It wasn't because of the impact. It wasn't because of the accident. And I'm trying to position myself with my feet and my hands to take the weight off a little bit because I tried to undo my seatbelt. By now, the two police, the chief, I believe he was a lieutenant, they're opening up my doors, which opened perfectly fine. And he comes in, he's like, he starts talking to him because they know who I am. He's like, "Are you all right? Can you move? How's your neck?" And I'm like, "I'm fine. I just got to get out of this seat, you know." So he tried to push the buckle, and it won't release. At this time, whoever was, I believe it was a police officer who come over to this side. I don't know if it was the paramedic who stepped in then or what, but he saw my knife in my pocket. Always have. I don't know why how people can go around without a pocket knife. He saw my pocket knife hanging out of my pocket. So he says, "I'm going to use your knife and cut your seatbelt." And I'm like, all right, I'm holding myself up, wedge my feet against the floorboard. And so he does that, and I kind of slide down. People like, once they do that, like, you're going to fall. You don't fall because there's really nowhere to fall. Like, you're already hanging really low, so you just kind of like settle onto what is now the roof of the car. I was fine. I wanted to get out. I had to get out of the car. And he's like, there was glass broken. He's like, no, don't move. I'm going to get a backboard. And I'm like, no, I'm okay. I just want to get out of the car, And he's like, no, there's glass everywhere. I don't want you sliding across glass. Oh, okay. So I'm laying there. Now, I left out a part. Before they opened up the doors, I hear a woman asking me, I have these Subaru, what's it called? Subaru Starlink, I believe it's called. Forgot all about that. It scared the crap out of me when I hear this woman like, "This is Subaru, are you okay? We have an airbag deployment. Do you need rescue?" or something like that. And I'm like, who the hell? I know I just dropped my boys off. Like, who's in my car? And I kind of realized, and again, the officer was coming in and he's like, "No, we're here now. We're okay." She's like, now, apparently, I was sitting on top or laying on top of that button and I kept pushing it. So about 3 times she came back. "Super Starlink, we have, do you need rescue?" And he's like, "No, we're here." And then he goes, "Tim, you're laying on the button." Okay, sorry. It's so quiet here, except me, my big loud mouth. So I get out of the car. They put a backboard in there. I slide out of the car, and I'm sitting down. Now, I've been fine. I go to stand, and the earth is spinning. Of course, the earth is spinning. Like, it's spinning. And I'm like, oh, I got to sit. So I sat down. I was like, hold on, we're going to get a stretcher. And they knew about my ribs. I explained to the officer in the car about my ribs, and he has anybody else in the car. No, my son. I just dropped my boys off. He's like, oh, yeah, that's right. And so they said, we're going to take you to the hospital just to make sure. And I'm like, that's fine. That's okay. So I remember him handing me like my cell phone, my garage door opener, and a couple other things. Oh, my knife. He gave me back my knife. I remember sitting in the back of the ambulance, and they're doing something. They're talking about something. And I'll show you in a minute when I do kind of like a walk around the car, but I had this Molly panel in the back of the back seat and with a bunch of stuff on there. And he caught me. He's like, I really like that thing in the back of your car. That's pretty cool. It kind of held everything in place. Because I normally have if you own a Crosstrek, you know, there's not a lot of room. I never really run out of room, but there's not a whole lot of room. So I go to the hospital. I'm good. I'm fine. They release me. My wife and I go to the police station. I want to know, where's my car? Like, what do I need? What happened? And we talked about it. She was being cited. Now, people say she stopped. I can tell you, I saw her stopped on my left. But what happened was, someone said when she pulled out, she gunned it hard. She was being cited with something. I don't exactly know what. We go, we find my car. My car was in really, really bad shape. It looked terrible. I was hoping they were going to total it, complete loss, which they did, thankfully. And that was really it. And then the insurance companies kind of did all their thing. There was some question about suing. No, she did nothing illegal. She wasn't texting, talking on the phone. She did stop at the stoplight. The insurance companies are doing their thing. They took care of me really good. Took just kind of some miscommunication, but anyway, that's not a big deal. And I got a new car. I got a new one. I won't say it's better. It's the same car as I did before, but there are some differences that I don't hate. But we'll talk about that. Actually, you know what? Let's talk about that right now. Well, I apologize. It started raining, so I had to change venues. Went for a quick ride, and then the rain kind of stopped, so I thought I'd come over here. Some of you that watch my videos on a regular basis know exactly where I'm at. I'm over at the sand pits, which I come over quite often, and I thought this would be a great place to do the walk around on my 2021 Crosstrek Sport. So, the one I had before that got totaled, again, I will try to put some photos in there if I can figure that out in this video. But it had the other wheel package. They don't come with the STI wheels, right? And also, it doesn't come with this. It comes with a rather smaller, I don't know what you want to call that, a wing or what, right? A slightly smaller one. And the only other thing, let's go inside, is the gear shift. It says STI on there. The problem is, and I love these cars. I really do. Everything about it. Except one thing, I'll tell you exactly what I don't like is really literally one thing. Anyway, I go to the dealership to replace the one I had. I actually went there several times. We talked, and then I found out that there's a huge shortage of cars. Like, they're going to be, and that's throughout the United States, and I believe it's all makes and models. Something about some computer chips. That ordering a car is going to take a long time. At the time when I was at the dealership to order my second 2021 Crosstrek Sport, they did not have any on the lot. Not in the color that I wanted. I wanted the, what do they call that? Yellow plasma pearl, whatever, right? It's not yellow at all. It's green. Now, granted, in certain light, it does change color, but the fact is it's green, okay? Let's just call it green. The person someone ordered this a while ago, but when they ordered it, they wanted STI wheels with the original tires. They wanted that wing thing on the back, and they wanted an STI gear shifter. Now, the problem is, if you know anything about Subaru, they actually make an STI. This is by no ifs, ands, or buts about it an STI. This is not an STI. So my problem is it's got STI badging and stuff on it. It's not an STI. I know some people, hey, who cares, right? I care. That kind of bothers me. I don't know why. I'll get over it eventually. But the good thing about it is, look at that, huh? Gorgeous. The good thing about that is it actually came with the original Subaru Crosstrek Sport wheels. So I had those in a box in my garage. Really contemplating changing them because I go to places like this all the time. It's not that bad. I will go through that like nothing. I love doing that. I've been through that over there. That was huge. That was fun. Took a big bush out of the ground when I did that. But anyway, I was told these are not made. Will they handle what I do? Probably. But they're not made for off-road. The STI wheels, rims, depending on how old you are, will determine what you call them. They're made for blacktop. They're made for the hard surface roads, not for off-road. That's what I was told. I do a lot of that on-road, hard top. You know, this is my daily driver. But I go off-road a lot. And he told me, well, you can change it whenever you're going to go off-road. No, I don't want to do that, you know. I don't want to pull over or go home and change the wheels. No. I'm out. When I'm out, I'm driving. I see a trailhead, a road, a two-train track, or whatever you call those, a two-lane track. I hit it. I'm like, oh, let's go. I'm going. I've had scratches down my other Subaru, my 2016 Subaru. It handles it. Snow, winter, you name it, ice, sand, dirt, puddles. I've gone through all kinds of stuff. They handle them just fine. I definitely have taken my Subaru Crosstrek, matter of fact, all my Subarus. This is personally my fifth. I've taken them places Subaru probably didn't intend for them to go, but they handled it just fine. So I like it. I love every part of it. The wheels I do like them, but I don't know. I kind of like the other ones. I have them. I'm thinking about changing them. We'll see. My first oil change will determine, I'll know then if I'm going to change them. I can tell you that what I do like about the other wheels was that they were gunmetal gray, which matched the gunmetal gray on the side mirrors. I really kind of like that. A little bit of contrast, and I did. Now, I can tell you that I've never crashed one except my last accident. That was my first. It held up incredibly well. The outside of it almost disintegrated. Like the whole front was bad. The roof never crushed down. Matter of fact, the police officer I was talking to or the firefighter both said, I can't believe how... Usually they said when they flip over, it takes a while to get the doors open. He said your doors were fine. It never crushed down whatsoever. The side windows didn't break. The front window broke. I believe this broke. This window broke. Maybe this. I could be wrong. Maybe this. But there was another window broken. But anyway, I mean, the inside of it was absolutely amazing. When I went back to get my personal belongings out of it, I went over. When I opened this up, I had to move the curtain, but the back seat was... I have kids, and I have WeatherTech mats, and they kind of destroy the back seat. But with that new material they have that Subaru's putting in a lot of their cars, it cleans up incredibly well. But this was immaculate to my other one. So, thankfully, my children were with me. If they were... They would have probably had PTSD, but physically they would have been absolutely fine. I've had a lot of Subarus. Again, I've gone off-road, especially in the snow. I love going through snow. The deeper, the better. I love driving on roads in wintertime, in the snow, not plowed yet. Never, ever, ever have I been stuck. They're such amazing cars. You can't go wrong. I love everything about them. Now, what don't I like about them? What don't I like about this particular car? It has that, I'm probably calling it something wrong. It has that, what's called the stop-start function, I believe I'm calling it wrong, when you come to a stop, like you add a light or a stop sign, the car shuts off. The engine shuts down. Everything else is still running, but the engine shuts down. You don't know it. It's done really, really quietly. And then what happens is, when you give it gas, there's like this little shake, like a shimmy, and then you can go about your business. The problem with that is, it scares the crap out of me every single time. Luckily, you can shut it off, but you have to shut it off every time you get in and you start the car up. I thought twice when it happened, it shook so hard. I thought I was rear-ended, like a very light rear end, but I thought I was hit. It scared the crap out of me. So I don't like that. Other than that, love every bit of it. Plenty of room for my gear. I always got my stuff. There's the Molly rack from Orbis Overlanding. I will have his information in the box below. It's an amazing car. It really is. I love it. Again, since my accident, I like it that much more. So that is it. That's my story. I'm sticking to it. Thank you for watching this video, everybody. For my regulars who watch me on a regular basis, I have a lot of stuff to show you. I just need more time, or time to do it in general. But you'll be seeing a lot more videos from me. Be well, everybody. If you have any comments or questions, leave them in the boxes below. Be well, stay safe. Bye.